Freak Nation, follow us on Twitter if you want to win a set of General Tires, because every week prior to the NASCAR Cup race, the majority of the time, sometimes it's IndyCar and every now and then it's NHRA, we do Beat the Freaks. We ask you to submit 3 drivers, and if your 3 drivers collectively beat our 3 drivers that we choose to win that race, then you take home a set of General Tires. That's if we choose you. And we've got a whole hell of a lot of folks that jump in on this prior to each Cup race. So be sure to follow us on Twitter. And when you do that, hashtag SpeedFreaksGT and Beat the Freaks. And you will be eligible to win a set of General Tires. Richie, at first blush, how did we fare this weekend? Any idea, my friend?
Got to run the numbers through my computational device coming up later this week. And I will get back to you on that.
Okay.
It takes a while. We have to. Everything's got to be verified.
Computational device.
Yeah, this was the.
Did you really say that, Richie?
Yeah. This was the 3rd closest finish in NASCAR history. So we have to take our time, and we'll get you the numbers later this week and see if somebody's taking home some General Tires. Yeah,
I gotta remember computational device. That's gonna go in my head.
And I had that wild card of Michael McDowell, and he was just freaking gravy for 2/3 of the race. Man.
I was thinking you just might pull that off.
And I had Christopher Bell, who won out on lap.
Same.
Oops.
Yeah.
All right. Might be time to award some freaking GTs to somebody, whoever was part of the giveaway this weekend, Richard C. Scott.
Although I did have Ryan Blaney, and he was second. So, hey,
I had the 2 Kyles, and they were both top 10. So,
hey, Crasher, Indianapolis Motor Speedway is once again aggravated with Formula One. They were kind of aggravated with NASCAR, but NASCAR was wise, and they backed off this statement. They took the tweet down that referred to one certain sentence that Indianapolis Motor Speedway copyrighted or copywritten? Trademarked back in 1986-87. What might that be?
The greatest spectacle in racing. That's not a very good Tom Carnegie voice, but for those of you that know, you know.
What?
Yeah, well, I tried. The greatest spectacle in racing. Yes, it was trademarked by the Holman George family in the mid-'80s. And around, when did the Vegas F1 promotions begin? When did those advertisements go out? I believe it was 12 months ago, so around this time last year.
Right.
And they were calling it the greatest spectacle. Las Vegas, when F1 comes to Las Vegas, it will be the greatest spectacle in motorsports. Well, that was the first rub. IndyCar officials, Mark Miles specifically, and others, and IMS officials, Doug Boles, put some phone calls out to F1, had a few chats. The subject went away. But the advertisements didn't, but the subject died for a while. Then come May, the month of the Indy 500, which is the greatest spectacle in racing, which is held at the racing capital of the world. Both of those are trademarked by, well, now it's the Penske Entertainment owns it now with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the IndyCar Series. But the first weekend in May last year was the Miami Grand Prix. And LL Cool J gets on the mic introducing the greatest 20 drivers of the world, getting ready to race the greatest spectacle in motorsports. Rubs IndyCar wrong yet again. So that was twice. And according to Mark Miles, CEO of IndyCar and IMS, there were several get-togethers with IndyCar brass and Formula One brass and how this can't continue because this is a trademark saying. I will say this, though. The trademark saying is the greatest spectacle in racing. It's not the greatest spectacle in motorsports. The word motorsports, of which Formula One is using. Is that enough to matter? I don't know. But fast forward to now recently, there's apparently a merchandise brand out there that Liberty Media and Formula One is behind. And it has the actual wording now, the greatest spectacle in racing. So here we go.
Well,
Round three.
There is some protection. I've done this before. I've trademarked some things, and anything that you could say that would change it, but still keep it in that industry that could possibly confuse people by confusing them with you. that's an infringement. And the only thing that they could stand on possibly is whether or not the Indianapolis Motor Speedway has done all this trademark work globally. And if they haven't, then they may not have much of a leg to stand on. But if they trademarked it globally and F1 is a global business, then they don't have much of a leg to stand on.
Then how would it, okay, merchandise line aside, the alleged merchandise line, let's not talk about that right now. Let's go back to 2023 in the advertising of the greatest spectacle in motorsports that F1 was using, and how those are both American events because they used it for Las Vegas and for Miami. So with those being American events, even though F1 is global, and if the Indianapolis Motor Speedway doesn't have a global trademark on the greatest spectacle in racing, because those events are American based, would it matter?
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
It would matter. It would be up to a court to decide, whether a judge or a jury, but it would matter. The issue is whether or not what you are putting out there is going to be confusing to the people who hear it. And if it's in the same industry, that's the argument that they would make.
That's confusion.
There was a guy who went by the name of SpeedFreak who covered motorsports
Right.
in Indianapolis about 20 years ago. And we kindly asked him to stop using that word because of the confusion of as if he was part of SpeedFreaks.
Mm-hmm.
And he continued, and he stopped using, hey, this is the SpeedFreak checking in from the Indianapolis 500. So I hear exactly what Statman is saying in order to shut them. Liberty Media,
Yeah.
it's Liberty Media that owns Formula One.
And Liberty Media that wanted to buy the IndyCar series and was told no.
Yeah.
So is this because they have a chip on their shoulder? Quite potentially, but
No, they may
why?
force the issue and force it into court, and then here's some money go away. But yeah, if Indianapolis Motor Speedway has taken all the legal steps to protect itself, then somebody's going to have to cease and desist.
I have a solution. Instead of going to court, we settle it on the track. So hear me out, everybody. Okay.
No.
So Max Verstappen, 3-time world champion, probably going to win it again. Was the fastest time in their testing session this past weekend. He's got to come over to IndyCar. Okay, he's got to race in the Indianapolis 500, and the stakes are if he wins the race, the trademark moves over to Formula One. Okay, and if he doesn't, too bad. IndyCar gets to keep it. Stakes, Indy 500. Do it.
Dang it. You want to
That's
put
my
it
solution.
all on the alleged a-hole, Max Verstappen. Really?
Yes.
He wouldn't have the cojones to race the high-speed oval of the Indianapolis
He's
Motor
allegedly
Speedway.
he's the greatest driver in the sport right
Blah,
now.
blah, blah.
Kyle
Formula One.
Larson would beat his ass at the
Yes.
Indianapolis 500.
Yes, Max Verstappen's not the greatest driver right now. He's just in a better car. He is such a jerk. I don't even want to talk about Max Verstappen. He would whine. He would have going into turn one. He'd be like, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" He just no. Get him
So
in
you're
any
saying
angle.
he'd become the Ayatollah complaining, huh?
What the hell did you just say?
Let's go.
Ayatollah.
Man.
It's a reference from 1979 stat, man.
We're
I
doing
like
a
that.
lot of old references, aren't we? Water
Dang.
cooler and Ayatollah.
It's a good thing this show's coming to an end about a minute. Holy smokes.
Yeah, Verstappen couldn't get in an IndyCar at Indianapolis to save his life. No way.
Really,
No way.
Richie, you're looking forward to the Formula One season? Really?
Yeah, I'll watch. I'm
Oh.
watching next week. It's on a Saturday morning. Let's go.
I'll watch that. That's it.
because the season is still up. It's a brand new year. We don't know what's
Right.
going to happen.
It's like the Oakland A's. Every time there's the first pitch of the season in the spring,
Yes.
spring training, Oakland A's got a shot at it.
Yeah, that's why Liberty Media wants a lawsuit, or why they're doing this, because they know if Max Verstappen runs away with another season, their ratings are in the massive tank. This is their only way at publicity anymore in the U.S. market. Yeah, forget it.
Hey, I'm sorry, Chelsea DeNofa, we couldn't get to you, man. You're sitting out there in the wings again. Once again, had to blow you off, my friend. Yeah, that's true. Liberty Media. It will be the drive to survive. There's a big lawsuit coming on. What the hell is going on? Thank you. Yeah, let's get the hell out of here. All right, Stat Man. Shoot the juice to the moose.
And cut it loose.
Please. We'll see you, Freak Nation. Till this time. Next week.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.